Joining us now is Public Affairs Analyst and member of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Kunle. He will be talking to us about developments in his party and the presidential primaries slated for Port-Harcourt in Rivers State in the southern part of Nigeria on Saturday. Kunle, welcome to the morning show. Good to see you again. Hello.
Thank you very much, Ruben Abati.
How are you? Good to see you.
It's quite some times. I've been following you on your pro and cons, and now I see you live every morning. It's very nice to see you talking.
Thank you very much.
Rather than seeing you writing. yeah.
Thank you very much. But let's go straight to the issue of the presidential primaries of the PDP in Port-Harcourt this weekend.
Yeah.
First, there was an issue about the venue of the presidential primaries, with Nyesom Wike, the governor of Rivers, saying that if the convention will not be held in Port-Harcourt, then there will be very serious consequences for the party. How did the PDP get itself to a situation whereby one man, one governor, will be calling the shots, and then everybody else will just follow him?
Perhaps, let me, on a lighter mood, I think Wike was just playing a marketing game. He wanted to market Port-Harcourt. I would not like to talk much about the political undertones. I would rather prefer to just say that Wike is trying to market Port-Harcourt to the remaining part of the country. You remember in 1999, we put the convention in Jos. So, and if you remember again, in 1992, 93, it was Jos, SDP, that produced Abiola. So I think Wike wants to make history. He wants to say, oh, Port-Harcourt is the seat from where I was able to produce a presidential candidate that perhaps is going to become the president by February 16th.
But with due respect, I think it's probably...
So I think he's trying to market Port-Harcourt. That's the way I would like to interpret his statement.
Well, with due respect, I think this goes beyond marketing the Garden City, because if you just step back a little, you will recall that at the last convention of the party to elect a new chairman, again Wike was the issue, because he said that the candidate must come from a particular place, and he said a lot of provocative things about the Southwest and leaders of the party from the Southwest. And at the end of the day, he had his way. The same way he had his way, he has had his way this time around. I mean, what's happening? Because what people are saying is that he's become the puppeteer of the People's Democratic Party. Is it about money?
No. Yeah. Okay, let me allow you finish that question, please.
No, I already finished. I'm asking that it looks like Governor Wike, members of the party are complaining, onlookers are also complaining that why does he wield so much influence? Is it about the size of his pocket? And that if the PDP must go into this major election, then, I mean, it must be better prepared than being twisted here and there by one individual.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, on one note, Wike as a governor of Rivers State, there is no how if you aggregate all the forces and the various camps that make up PDP, it's not possible for Wike alone to have an overbearing influence on all these forces. If you remember in 1999, I am a pioneer member of PDP. The formation of PDP, for your information, in fact, the constitution of PDP was written by General Jembeon, and I vetted the constitution, and I finally approved it and printed it on the seat of where I am sitting talking to you now in 1998. The very place I am talking to you in Abuja now used to be the office where I used to operate in 1998 in Nikon Noga Hilton. So the General Jembeon came in from Lagos and gave me a draft of the constitution he made for PDP. And then if you see the first chairmanship of the party, the Chief S.B. Awoniyi of blessed memory was to be the first chairman. But we agreed, I was very young, we agreed with General Jembewa and Chief S.B. Awuni of blessed memory that we should allow Solomon La, because of the progressive tendencies, that group from the north, that's Abubakar Rimi and late Solomon La, that we should allow their group to firstly have a shot at it. Chief Solomon La was virtually begging General Jembewa and Chief S.B. Awuni to please allow him have it. So if you watch from that history, PDP chairmanship has always been a problem because of the tendencies that formed PDP. You know, unfortunately, if this country had continued with SDP, NRC, we would have matured. We will have matured because we will have just known that we have two-party system in the country. But the amalgamation of everybody that came into PDP became a problem from that 1999 because they were from different school of thought, except Chief Bolaige, who saw it ahead with Olufalai, and they refused to team up with PDP. They say, oh, AD was going to stand on his own because we cannot go to bed with these guys. So now if you continue like that, when President Obasanjo was in government, because of his clout, he was able to manage all these tendencies and forces in PDP up to the time he left. And if you remember clearly, also, I'm coming to Wike's influence now. It was President Obasanjo also who brought the theory of the American system by saying, oh, governors and senators are the one who usually evolve to become something in the American system. So he started having these tendencies of promoting governors to become something. Governors and senators, governors and senators. So the governors forum that was set up, if you watched governors forum, the same Bukola Saraki now was the group with Amechi that became very formidable because under Obasanjo, the governors forum was not too strong because of his clout. So now, when Bukola Saraki and Amechi became too strong for our former president, Jonathan, to manage, crisis started. So the governors became very, very, very influential in this country. You remember yourself. So now today, Wike is trying to maybe ride on that governors forum force. But unfortunately for him, it is not possible anymore. It is not possible because this reamalgamation of forces coming back to PDP now, he cannot alone contain that weight. It is not possible. I'm sorry. He just have to. In fact, for your information, in that last meeting they had, he has to apologize. But because it's a family issue, we don't want to blow it beyond there. He has to apologize, and Ayofayo say has to assist him to apologize to the families of the PDP. And now that matter is buried. Don't let us go beyond there. But there is no how one governor in PDP today can have an overbearing influence on the new PDP structure. It's not possible. Well, what of we, the founding fathers? We sacrificed to form that party. We sacrificed to form that party. Big sacrifice, sleepless night in this office where I am talking to you now. Sleepless night.
Okay, well, if you say that please, the matter...
If some of us don't talk because...
If you say that the matter has been resolved internally, then I think that's reassuring. That persons who think that the event in Port-Harcourt this weekend will be a coronation exercise, what you are saying invariably that it will not be a coronation, because there have been indications that the people who are going to provide the venue, the funds, and all of that, they have their favorite, and that Port-Harcourt will just be a formality for coronation. You are saying that Nigerians should look forward to a free and fair, credible primaries in Port-Harcourt on Saturday. Is that what you are saying?
That is certain, because that is the only way. That is certain, and that's the only way forward for PDP. It is not possible. There is no amount of wealth and resources that Wike alone can muster. If you look at all the limitations, what is the total income of Rivers State government? Even if the ruling party does not put a searchlight on his activities, there is limit. So at times the myth we build around people in this country, I laugh when people hear it say, oh, this guy can garner 10 billion, 20 billion, I just laugh. What's the total income per month of the state? So at times I just look at people, they build myth around people. What is the total income of Rivers State per month? So how will he put all the income of the state at the disposal of all the delegates just to walk over and put a candidate on top of us. It's not going to be possible. Among the 4 leading candidates there, they also have their own national grid and network. You must realize this. And it's time for Wike to realize this. When did Wike come to the party? I'm his senior. When did he come into the party? There is no part of Nigeria today I don't know people. Wike evolved from Port-Harcourt to Abuja. That's all. So he's our junior. In party leadership, he's our junior. But okay, because he's a governor now. So for how much resources will he muster to just impose a candidate? And that is the danger. There is no need to impose candidates in this arrangement. Allow people to exercise their franchise freely, so that when we produce a candidate from Port-Harcourt, we can now work very hard with that candidate to put a new government.
Well, you mentioned 4 leading...
Thank you very much, Ruben. I hope this is enough.
Yeah, you mentioned 4 leading aspirants in the PDP.
Yeah.
I would like you to identify them and maybe also tell us what we should be looking forward to in Port-Harcourt this weekend.
Well, while I mentioned 4 aspirants, is because you can see the crowd was so much, but at the moment, you can see the feasibility of about 4 candidates. So if you see one of the founding father of PDP is Atiku Abubakar, you know this. We cannot sweep it under the carpet. And he remained the most visible in PDP. If you go by the history, is the most qualified, is the most experienced, is the one has the best clout, locally and internationally. For whatever anybody may say, if you are envious of his achievement in life, put it by the side. Okay. Then when you look at people like Kwankwaso, he has come of age. When you look at people like my junior brother, Bukola Saraki, he has also come of age. But when you look at his own tendencies and the situation, you will dimension it in another way. Then when you look at Tambua is also a very junior, he's a junior boy, even though he's a governor now. He managed to become speaker. But okay, he has built some national relevancy. Okay, but when you look at all these people and put them on scale, you will see that each of them have their own advantages and disadvantages when you put them on scale. But if they are able to do a fair and free election in Port-Harcourt, and one of these 4 emerges, I expect that we should all respect that result, as long as it is not imposed. If it is imposed, then PDP has endangered their success already. Once it is seen to be imposed, they have endangered their success already. So among these 4, you can see you can do your rating by yourself. The current Senate President, Bukola Saraki, he stand out very good, very articulate, very brilliant chap, and he stand a good chance. But I still believe that given the current situation of this country, Atiku will be like the right. I'm not. He has not chosen me to come and talk here, but I can see the competition. If Tambua is able to still work his way gradually, he has a future. He has a future. So I leave this game to allow them play it out, but I don't want people to sit down in Port-Harcourt and think they can just manipulate and just put a candidate. We must look at the antecedent of PDP carefully. If President Obasanjo hadn't gotten so upset with PDP and left, we would not be in this situation we are. And if, fundamentally, if Chief S.B. Awoniyi of blessed memory had been allowed to be the chairman of this party in 1999, the structure and the institutional framework he would have put together might have helped this party to have survived better, because I was part of the brain box he was using in those days to say, how do we have a vibrant organizational structure and put the right people there to run it like a business. Let's run it like a business. Let's run the party like a business.
Just a moment. I would like to take your point.
Respect whatever comes out of it.
I would like to take you back to your short list of 4. You mentioned the phrase, the advantages and disadvantages of each candidate. Can you talk a bit more about the advantages and the disadvantages, or if you like, the strengths and the weaknesses of each of those 4 candidates that you shortlisted? Let's start with Atiku, for example.
If you have small luxury of time, the SWOT analysis of each of these 4, if you look, is like let us be very honest with ourselves. Take their national outlook. Each of them take their national outlook. Take their history. Atiku started with his ambition in 1992 in Jos. Take his pedigree in customs service. Since he left ABU and joined customs service, see his exposure in Lagos, in the southwest. See his exposure everywhere he had worked. See his pedigree in business. He has what it takes. He understands business. He understands the meaning of political economy. He knows how to use political policies to create business and create wealth. So, and then when you see the network of people he has interacted with over the years, you will see that he is not a small fry. And he has built economic empire in this country. Maybe people don't know the business venture into which Atiku has put his hand all these years has helped him to be even more prepared to govern this country. Because he knows where the shoe pinches. He knows the meaning of interest rate. He knows the meaning of how to borrow money. He knows the meaning of how to leverage on assets. So these are the issues. And then he is very cosmopolitan. Atiku is not a provincial boy. He's very cosmopolitan. He is civilized. He's well-traveled. So he knows how to use brilliant people.
What will you consider to be
done when he was vice president of this country?
Talk about his weaknesses, about the negatives.
His weakness, which everybody always refer to, is age. But luckily, he is of good health. He's of good health. The Ghanaian president is 72, and see how brilliant he's performing. So I believe Atiku, with the good health on his side, which is the only weakness I see,
but there are people. Sorry, I need to cut in here.
He's going to.
I need to cut in here. But there are people who say that former Vice President Abubakar Atiku's biggest problem is that President Obasanjo is not on his side, and that President Obasanjo wields a lot of influence in Nigerian politics, and particularly in the PDP, and that he has said publicly that on his watch, even out of office, Atiku Abubakar will not be president of Nigeria.
Well, you see, look, with very high respect for President Obasanjo, because I am part of the people in the team that produced President Obasanjo in 1999. And I respect him a lot. Every time I see him, I interact with him. I continue to respect him. But please, there is limitation to how much he alone also can do in this present circumstance. There is human limitation. President Obasanjo, at this very situation we are in this country, the limitation has set in for him also. So I don't believe because he said this, he said that. Okay, look, he tried to transit in 2007. He transited this country to Yaradua Jonathan. What came out of it? Disaster. He tried to support Jonathan in 2011. What came out of it? Disaster. Jonathan disappointed all of us of my age. Oh yeah, let us be honest with ourselves. Okay, so Obasanjo himself was disappointed. All the good policies and framework we put together to move the political economy of this country forward. President Obasanjo cannot say he's a happy man today. I'm 60 years old. I'm not happy. So he cannot say he's happy today. I still give a lot to him. So he cannot say, Atiku, okay, what is the bone of contention between President Obasanjo and Atiku? In 2003, Atiku was to go into the ring with him. So, okay, that is personal conflict. And because he's a major general, he's a retired general, so he felt that if my subordinate can confront me, it means something else. So if there is no any other thing we don't know.
Well, you know, we still have...
Yeah, so
hold
please,
on.
Yeah.
You know, we still have 3 other candidates in your shortlist. Can you quickly talk about those three too, briefly, because I will still ask you a final question.
I go to my junior. Yeah, thank you. I go to my junior brother now, Bukola Saraki, my junior brother, the Senate president. He's thoroughly brilliant, very energetic, very strategic. He's a political craftsmanship. His political craftsmanship is very, very, very enormous. But I think if I'm able to, if he comes out victorious, I will be among the first people that will line up behind him to campaign across this country. But I think his weakness for now is still that there is still a problem about regional balancing in this country because of the heterogeneous setting of Nigeria and the tripod, what we call the tripod, the Hausa Fulani, the Yoruba, and the Igbos. So for this reason, maybe we have not matured to produce a candidate like him that is very, 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 I will say his candidature will have just been a national figure. He does not come from anywhere, even though his native hometown is Ilorin, but I don't believe Bukola Saraki is Ilorin. He's a national figure. That's the way I look at him.
Okay, so let's take Kwankwaso quickly.
I think he's good, but I think maybe he still need to, maybe if he come out victorious, it's okay, but I think his time is still ahead. His time is still ahead.
How about Kwankwaso and then Tambuwa? I have a lot of
respect for him also. Then Kwankwaso does not have a national appeal. Kwankwaso is a provincial guy. He came out of Kano and he came out of the Aminu Kano political philosophical movement. So I believe Kwankwaso still have a lot of work to do to connect with us across the country. We want a person that has national appeal, the national grid. I don't go to a function in Lagos or in Ibadan and find Kwankwaso around. Even marriages, even funerals. So Kwankwaso is a provincial guy. He's going to, if he become a national candidate, okay, we have to work for him, but he has no national grid.
You and I can spend the next 1 hour.
Tambuwa.
Hold on. You and I can spend a lot of time arguing over whether attendance at funerals and weddings will be the right qualification for becoming president of Nigeria. But
no, please. I use it as part of the social. It's still part of the social mobilization of this country, my brother. How many social functions do you find Kwankwaso in Nigeria? If you and me go to a wedding or somewhere, do you find him there? Nobody. Don't let us. How many times do you see him in workshops and seminars, in National Economic Summit to present paper?
Okay, let's take
these are the issues.
Let's take the fourth person. Let's take the fourth person on your list. Yeah. That's Tambuwa.
The fourth person is the young talk. You see, Tambuwa is young. He has not gone through the mill. He's very young. He has not gone through the mill. He was speaker. He was supported to become speaker. He come from a very good geopolitical zone in the country, the caliphate base. Yes, but I think he still needs to be groomed. He still needs some grooming time. Because I tell you, to run this country, from my experience from 1999 to 2009, when I was participating in government, from my days I spent some time in privatization, I spent some time in Ministry of Energy to work on gas. I see that running this country, you need to have some experience. You need to have done something either in private very well or in government very well. Tambuwa was speaker. What is the rigor? What is the rigor he has subjected himself into to do rigorous administrative and technical issues? And he has been governor for 3.5 years in Sokoto. I have not seen anything spectacular. I see even a big achievement in Kebbi compared to Sokoto, because I'm monitoring what is going on in the 36 states of
in the next few minutes, I'm going to wrap up.
Yeah.
In the next few minutes,
I think he still need time.
Yeah, in the next few minutes, I'm going to wrap this up.
Need time. But
in the next few minutes, I'm going to wrap this up.
Any of them who come out victorious in Port-Harcourt we will rally around to produce.
Hold on. In the next few minutes, I'm going to wrap up.
Yeah.
But I still have about 2 questions to ask you.
Okay.
Now, there are people who argue that experience is not a big deal. After all, there are a lot of young people who have never even worked in government who want to be president of Nigeria under the protection of the not too young to run law. But do you see the possibility that these 4 candidates that you have said we should be looking at as we move towards the presidential primary in Port-Harcourt, they may cancel themselves out and a dark horse may emerge? There are persons you have not mentioned. There is Dati Ahmad, right? There is Dan Kwambo. There is Kabiru Turaki. Yeah. There is McAfee. And a long list all the way down. Do you see the possibility of a dark horse emerging outside the list that you have prescribed?
There is nothing impossible. But you see, former Governor McAfee is one guy that I respect, I admire him a lot. I knew him long time ago. But you see, I still mention this thing. He is very qualified, eminently qualified. He is academically sound. He knows politics. He is the most dependable character that has remained in PDP since we started. He has never jumped queue. He has remained there. So all the other guys you mentioned, I think Dati Ahmed just came on board. The former Minister of Special Duty from Kebbi, he just came on board. I think he's just having a trial. I don't see any of them becoming a dark horse suddenly, because what is their national greed? What are they bringing to the table apart from McAfee? Okay, Dati Ahmed is well qualified, well polished, but he has not. This is Nigeria. I don't even know him. I don't need to know him. But what is his pedigree? Okay, so I think when you say experience does not matter, or the young, not too young to run, I agree. But you see, you must be able to have capacity to assemble brilliant people to get things done for you. You must be able to establish a structure that will show that if we give this man this country to run, he will run it 24 hours. So you cannot run Nigeria. Nigeria is a country that needs a superhuman being now to get things done, because we are late. We are very late. This country is very late. So because every time I do comparative analysis of where we are and where China was in 1950, in 1960, where Singapore was, I felt that we need a super driver now. We need a super driver. When President Muhammad Buhari was jokingly saying something in New York, I said, oh, we need to interrogate this statement. He said, they say Baba goes slow. He said, the people who moved very fast last time, where have they led the country to? Oh, I felt very bad because I have a lot of respect for him. But you see, we had moved this country forward into the digital age. We had already moved this country forward. There is nobody that can rate the activities of PDP in 16 years and give it less than 65% pass.
Well,
so we had moved the country forward. We had entered digital age. So I am sorry when I now find myself going backward so I think so
thank you very much, Dan Kunle. We look forward to what comes up in Port-Harcourt this weekend, and we hope that the PDP will be able to organize itself properly and that there will be no crisis the morning after. Thank you very much for coming to the morning show and for the brilliant views that you have expressed on the program. I'm sure we'll invite you again, maybe after the convention.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And thank you very much.
Thank you.